Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my October show and tell. I had to just think for a second what month we're talking about because I feel like October was a total blur, and I know I'm not alone in this. October has been a little bit nuts, but also I had a lot going on in October, so I blame that. Anyway, if you're new here, welcome. My show and tells are like a monthly favorites video, only it may not all be favorites. It's just things I want to talk about, show off, share, and these are a lot of fun for me to record, so they tend to be long. There's your warning. Let's get into it. So first off, memories, the big thing in October, because that was just after I had announced my tarot deck project, which if you don't already know, the Unicorn's Journey Tarot is the tarot deck project I am working on right now, and I will have a link down below where you can go sign up for updates. I have only sent out one newsletter so far at the time that I'm filming this, but I do have a newsletter you can sign up for to get updates. I will be sending those out regularly, but not crazy frequently, so that you can stay up to date on the progress of the tarot deck. Early October, the big thing was going to Northwest Tarot Symposium. Peggy and I went together. It was a lot of fun. We did a whole recap and haul live stream, so I will link that up in the cards. I no longer remember which corner, but I want to say it's that corner. I'm probably going to be wrong. Oh, I think that's right. I think it's that corner. Watch me be wrong. But anyways, somewhere up there in the cards, there will be a link to our live stream wrap-up haul of the conference. It was a lot of fun. That was probably the big thing for October. I'm trying to think if there was anything else notable in October, but that's literally the only thing I wrote down. I feel like a lot of October after that was sort of recovering, coming back down into reality from the tarot conference, because it's always this whole like mindset shift to go to something like that. So when you come back, there's like this recoup time. That's been pretty much the rest of October, I feel like. So memories, not a lot. YouTube-wise, I just wanted to highlight, we being me, Danny, Mystic, and Dustin, Modern Metaphysicae, had an incredible chat on 3 Fat Readers in October. I will link that up in the cards as well for you. That was so much fun. We had a really fun chat all about how we feel about destiny and fate and fortune telling and how that kind of plays into our reading, and we ended up kind of going down various rabbit holes as we do, and it was a really meaty, substantial chat, and we had a lot of fun. So I will definitely link that. That was definitely a YouTube favorite. I don't feel like outside of that I have a whole lot to report, mostly because I just wasn't in my normal YouTube watching routine in October, so hopefully I'll have more fun recommends for you next month. I do have a few fun, magical, sort of related things to show and tell about. The first of these are some crystals that I picked up at Northwest Tarot Symposium that I just really wanted to gush about. First of all, I got a piece of Super 7. Now, I cannot remember what all the different minerals are in this. I've got it written down, but I really love this piece because my thumb fits into like this notch like perfectly. It's kind of worry stone-like, but it feels very buzzy and lovely. I love that. I've never had a piece of that before. And then Peggy bought me this gorgeous piece of raw malachite, which is just breathtaking. Lots of shimmer and sheen in this, just gorgeous texture. Really heavy and weighty. Well, obviously heavy and weighty are the same thing, but really, really lovely. And another crystal. Oh, yes. And then there was a malachite. Wait, hold on. Where did you go? I'm losing things. Ah, yes. And then also there was a gorgeous labradorite that actually Dawn Michelle found first when we went to Newt's together. And she let me have this one. Let me buy this one. She bought a different piece. And this looks like literally you're looking into a pool of magic. It's so indescribably beautiful. I have another labradorite palmstone that's bigger than this that has this kind of sheen on one side, but this has it on both sides. It's just so full of depth, and it's so pretty. Labradorite, I'm wearing a piece of labradorite that I talked about in a different favorites video. I love labradorite, and this is just a really gorgeous piece. I also received in the mail as a gift this piece of calligraphy stone. Now, I've never had a piece of calligraphy stone before. I don't know much about it, but it's really got a cool texture to it. If you know anything about calligraphy stone, I would love to hear in the comments below your thoughts, opinions, what you'd like to use it for. It was very timely because I'm, of course, doing a lot of creative projects and writing projects, and I feel like it could be a really good boost for those, so that's lovely. But most notably, I would say in October is I did do some magic. Now, I shared the entire working with my members at the Magical Unicorn tier and up, but I created a witch ball. Now, I haven't made one of these in a very, very long time, but this one was a lot of fun to make. It's sealed with wax. It has this gorgeous silk or satiny ribbon hanging thingy. But this is a spell work I did specifically around my tarot deck project to sort of protect it, but also to boost it and give me the support I needed for that project. So this has been hanging actually back there where my witch's ladder normally hangs. So that's what's going to go back as soon as I'm done. But I wanted to show you because I think it came out so cool. It was really fun to bring my members along with me while I did this working, and I'm really proud of it. It's one of my favorite magical things I think I've ever made. That is it for magic. Let's talk about makeup and stuff because yes, I like to do that here. So a couple fun things. When I announced my deck, I actually did a look using these two palettes. I've talked about these before. This is a palette I made using Sydney Grace eyeshadow singles, and this is the Fun Size mini eyeshadow palette. So the fun thing about these is the mini palette, the Sugar Pill Fun Size, is all these really pretty matte rainbow colors, but they're quite vivid while still being kind of soft and pastel in places. And what I did, and I've talked about this before, but it's probably been a while. When I created this palette, I bought this like little mini palette off of Amazon, and then I basically picked all these really vibrant metallic shades, literally to match the same layout and format as these, so that I would have basically one matte and one metallic in each shade, right? So when I announced my deck, I actually played with the yellows and greens and made a really pretty sort of color look that I feel like matched the Fool card from my tarot deck. So that was pretty fun. So I did use these two for that. And that was, I love these. These are great. These are the reason why I'm not tempted by rainbow or really super colorful eyeshadow palettes anymore, because I like have all the colors of the rainbow I need, and I have mattes and metallics. So I'm set. The other thing I did a fun eyeshadow look with in October was these ColourPop singles. So these were, I think, part of a wine collection. I could be making that up. I don't remember. This one is called Muse, and this one is called Wine Down. Okay, so I'm not making that up. So I'm showing you in the pot. So this one is Muse. Let me just show you the actual shade here. Oh my gosh, I could never be a beauty YouTuber. Too much pressure. So this one is Muse. It's this really pretty kind of coppery but rosy shade at the same time. And then this one is Wine Down, and this is a really pretty deep, I don't know, Merlot kind of shade, obviously. It's like a very wine red, wine cranberry kind of color. It's much more rusty than I think it's looking in this light, but it's really, really beautiful. So I used the darker one in the outer part of my eye and then the lighter one in the inner part, and they paired really beautifully together. They look like they're made to go together. You can kind of see how we have the two different sort of depths in the shades. These are really fun. These are really easy to work with. So if I just want quick eyeshadows, these are good ones. The last makeup thing before we get to nail polish is this little Salt New York mini palette that I put together. Now, oh, it's upside down. There we go. Salt New York. So this is a product line that is clean beauty, and it is face products only, but they finally came out with a complexion product. I'm actually wearing this palette today. It's what I'm wearing on my skin. It's my bronzer, my blush, my base. Everything is out of this. My highlight. So it's got like, it gets like fuzzies from my makeup brush, so don't mind that. I know that's probably not the prettiest. I'm not a makeup YouTuber, yo, but like, so this is the base product. So it's called Sneaky Balm. So I wear that all over. And then there's my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight. And this was so convenient. I took this with me while we traveled. I didn't need to take anything else for blush, contour, or bronzer, or highlight, or anything, or a foundation. This travels so well. And it was so convenient to have this and a few brushes to be able to just quickly do something on my face to even out my complexion. This is like a lifesaver. And if you it's really quick and easy to have everything all together like this. Like, this is the best. When these products first came out, there was no complexion product. There was only the bronzer, blush, and highlight when I first found out about it. And I didn't want to get bronzer, blush, and highlight only because I'm like, well, that's a face palette and those don't typically work well for me. But once they came out with the foundation product, I'm like, this is the perfect travel thing, because then I don't have to bring all these products separately. I can just have everything all together, bring some mascara, something to put on my eyes. I'm good to go. You know what I mean? So this was so convenient. I used the heck out of this, and I used it today too, because it's just fun and easy and quick to use. So love that. I'll try to have links for everything down below. You know how I roll. I'm going to put this in my basket now. That brings us to nail polish, and I have a couple fun things to share. So I guess I have the color I'm wearing today that I'll show. Even though I guess technically it's Is it November? Because we're not going to parse. Okay, I'm going to show you the first thing I did. This was so fun. I would totally do this again. I was tempted to wear this 2 weeks in a row, which almost never happens for me. But this is the Pampered Polish. What is this even called? So Squishy. Pampered Polish So Squishy. This is so fun. I'm going to see if I can, I don't know if I can mimic. Okay, let me just show it to you. So it looks like it's this like kind of grape purple. It is a jelly polish, so it's got some sheerness to it. So I put like 3 coats, I think, on, if I remember correctly. But the neat thing about this is it's thermal. So these pinky purpley colored, they look hot pink, but imagine that hot pink color just a little bit more purple. That's the color this nail polish turns in hot water. You know what? Let me see if I can run the bottle under hot water so I can show you, because it's really cool to have color changing nail polish, and I really want to show you. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, I have to be quick, but I just ran it under hot water and you can see it turns that color. Like even lighter, it's already cooling off. I like ran it under hot water, but it changes color. What's really cool about this, I want to wear it again when I have slightly longer nails, is that my nails were pretty short when I was wearing it. Yay, breaking a nail the wrong time. But what happens is that the tip of your nail that's right not up against your nail bed turns that darker color because it's the cold temperature color. And then where your nail bed is, where it's warmer, at least on my hands, it was the darker, was the warmer, I can't speak. This pinky color was the color all over my nails, and then just at the tips, you'd get that dark color where it gets cool. Or if I washed my hands and my hands got cool, the whole thing would turn dark purple. Color changing nail polish is so much fun. I was like loving it. And I forgot that that's why I had bought this. I was like, why did I buy a second purple jelly polish? I couldn't remember. And then I was like, oh, right, it's thermal. Anyways, look up thermal nail polishes. This was a limited edition color, but like there are other ones out there that exist. And it's like you get a like French manicure kind of effect when your nails are longer. It's so cool. And then of course, when your hands get cold, they all turn, you get the gist. It's so fun. It's like hypercolor t-shirts, but in nail polish. So fun. Anyway, this was probably one of my favorites for the month. And then I wore a black polish. I never wear black polish, but I will definitely wear this one again because this one looks good in like one coat. And it is the Orly Breathable. What's the name of the shade? Mind Over Matter. It might be matte black, but I don't remember it being matte. It might have been. One Step Manicure, it says. Anyway, so this is the Orly polish. It's Orly Breathable in Mind Over Matter, and it is just a really good inky black. Looked really good in one coat. It was kind of thick, so it felt like it could be a one coater. But I took that and then I laid over top of it. I don't even know if I can give you the right effect, but I put this unicorn skin from Holo Taco, which is their Sonic unicorn skin, and it's got this quite a bit of like blue purple reflect over the black. It looked like a really, really vivid blue reflect, and I put this is like a flaky reflect topper over top of the black. It was a really cool effect, so that was a lot of fun. And then today I'm wearing this one, which is such a perfect fall color. It is Zoya's Tasha. I'm pretty sure I talked about this last year around this time of year, but it is this like metallic chocolate brown. Mine's already chipping because I was doing a bunch of stuff, but that is the shade and it is a lot of fun. So those were my nail polishes that I wore in October. I didn't wear any nail polish when I was at Newt, so I really only wore nail polish for the second half of the month, but there we go. All right, so that's it for makeup stuff. TV and movies. I did watch a few things actually in October. Peggy and I actually sat down and watched a movie. We haven't done that in forever, and we watched The School for Good and Evil, I think is what it's called. It's a Netflix original movie. It was super cute. It's based on a book series, and now I kind of low-key want to read the book series because it felt like it would be better in a book than on the movie. Does that make sense? Or I feel like I wanted more backstory for the characters or something. It just felt a little fluffy on screen, and I feel like if I'd read the book and then watched the movie, I would feel completely differently. And sometimes movies based on books are like that for me. So I definitely want to read the book at some point, but my TBR list is very, very long. So probably not anytime soon, but that was a lot of fun to just sit, cuddle, watch. It was great. We hadn't done it in ages. And then I've also been watching some guilty pleasure style reality television shows in October. So I watched Love is Blind Season 2 After the Altar, which is sort of like a few episodes that they released for Season 2 of Love is Blind to kind of follow the couples and like what's going on with them like a year after the end of the show. So it's kind of like post reunion a year later, what's everybody up to kind of thing. And that was good fun for me because I really liked Season 2 of Love is Blind. And then I watched what is out and available to watch now of season 3, which they're kind of dripping it out in like little bits. And I'm like, but I just would prefer to watch it all at once. So I've watched the first chunk of season 3 and I'm looking forward to the end of that. But I don't know if I'd like specifically recommend it because it's so cheesy reality stuff, but it's really fun to watch. So it's a certain type of self-care for me that is hard to replace with something else. But that's it. That's all I watched as far as I know in October. I still haven't watched Hocus Pocus 2. I don't know if I'm going to. It came up in 3 Fat Readers. Dustin saw it, didn't love it, and now I'm like, I don't know. If you watched it and liked it, let me know. No spoilers, but just let me know if I should give it a try. Because so far, I haven't been. So I'd love to hear if it's worth it. Food things. Okay. Food stuff. I have 3 food things I want to talk about. The first is when we were at Newt's, we went to dinner at the bar in the hotel at one point, and we had this dish. I had this dish. It was like a salmon dish. I love salmon at restaurants. I really love salmon, but I'd never make it. So it was a salmon dish, but it was served over a roasted corn risotto. So it was an actual risotto. It wasn't like risotto made of roasted corn or anything. It was like a proper risotto, but it had roasted corn in it. And it was like this kind of creamy, sort of Mexican-inspired type flavor or Tex-Mex type flavor profile. But it was so delicious. I'm a sucker for risotto and Peggy can't stand it. I need to make myself like a batch of risotto to eat sometime because I really enjoy it, but I just don't have it very often because I'm the only one in the house that eats it. So it's like, So having it out was a really nice treat. The other thing I want to talk about is a gelato brand I found in our local grocery store. It's called Righteous Gelato, and the flavor, because I'm boring and I always have the same ice cream flavor, is mint chocolate stracciatelli, I think is what it was called, but it's basically mint chocolate. It was so good. It was really creamy. Like if you've had proper gelato, like at a gelato place, this was like that, which I was not expecting. I think I thought it was ice cream when I bought it. And then I was like, this is so creamy. And I was like, oh, it's gelato. And I think it's proper gelato. You know what I mean? Proper gelato. I feel like things can call themselves gelato, but that really creamy, like it's really hard to describe, but gelato is gelato. It's not ice cream. It's different. And this was definitely gelato and it was so yummy. And I cannot wait to get another container of it because it's like one of those like little ones. So it's like 2 sittings of eating ice cream for me or gelato. It's like 2 sittings for me. So it's gone now and I would like some more. The other thing that I want to talk about that's food related was a delight for me to find as soon as we arrived in Portland for Newt's. We went to a grocery store to pick up a couple things for the hotel room and I went to see if they had any. There's a couple like treats that I can only get in the US. One of them is the Pepperidge Farm mint, not the Brussels, although those are also really tasty, but the mint, what are they called? They're round and they're extra crispy. I'm going to put a picture of the package on the screen right now so you know what I'm talking about. But I love those cookies and they're really hard to find. I've never seen them in Canada ever. We do have a few kinds of Pepperidge Farm that comes up to Canada. We do get the regular Milanos, sometimes the chunky like chocolate chip cookies, but not these other ones. I can't remember the name of them. It's bugging me. Anyways, it's on the screen. So I just don't know at the time of filming this what they're called, but they're so good. Anyways, I looked for those, didn't find them. And the other thing I look for are just basic Mother's frosted like cookies. Yeah. So I found those and much to my absolute delight, they were in a special version called Mythical Creatures. I still have some because I bought 3 bags. This is my last bag. But look, it's like the Mother's frosted cookies, but they are unicorns, mermaids. What are here? Unicorns, mermaids, and like Loch Ness monsters. And they don't look anything like that. Like in the bag, they look like blobs. But the little sprinkles on them are kind of extra shimmery, which makes them feel very magical. And just the fact that I was able to get a treat I look forward to getting when I'm in the States and happened to get them. And when I happened to find them, they were in this shape, was just like serendipitous, like magic. It was amazing. So they had 3 bags on the shelf. I bought 3 bags. I ate a little bit of a bag while we were down there. And then I brought the other 2 bags back home. 1 bag went to work and didn't last. This is the last bit. And I'm like to there. So it's like got a little bit left. But I really like these. They're very artificial tasting, but they're like nostalgic for me, I guess. But they're quite tasty. So I have these. Let's talk about a couple random things and Happy Mail. So 2 Happy Mail things came in October that just delighted my pants off. That's what I was going to say, but that doesn't sound right now that I've said it out loud. I'll probably keep this in. But like you know what I mean. It delighted me. Anyways, the first are these adorable little stitch markers that were sent to me, I'm pretty sure, by the person who runs this little shop, but I could be wrong. Look at them. They are unicorns, and they look just like the little channel unicorn guy that we use on the channel art right now. Aren't they so cute? So these are stitch markers. So like if I'm doing crochet or whatever, I can put them in. I haven't been able to bring myself to take them out of the package yet because I apparently hoard cute things. And these are real darn cute. Also, I didn't want to forget to show you them, but they are from a company called, well, from a small business, Gentle Island Knits. And I'm like 99% sure that the person who sent them to me is the person. She sent me this sweet little card that she makes these or sells them, or I don't know, but they're so freaking cute. I'm delighted. So love these. Thank you so much. And then this was the most fun thing to get. So somebody actually commissioned these little handmade items for Peggy and I. So Holly sent Peggy and I a little card and had commissioned these adorable little figures for us. I cannot even. So these are from a shop. I'll try to remember to link the shops down below for both of these things. This is from a shop called Family Doodle Doo, and they're little wooden figures. Just wait. So the one that she commissioned for me is this sweet ladybug. And it says Lisa at the top. Look at how cute with these little metallic hearts all over it. This is so cute. And these are made out of wood. And then wait till you see the one for Peggy. You're going to die. I died when I saw it. Just wait. There's Peggy's. Are you kidding me? Look at the dragon. It's like the dragon from our unicorn fam emoji. Oh my gosh. It's Peggy and a little wooden Peggy and Lisa. How cute are these? I lost it. I thought these were so great. So yeah, I can give Peggy hers back now, but I had to snark it so that I could talk about it in this video because these are adorable. So I have to go like look at the shop and see what else they have, but they're hand painted. I'm assuming like hand carved little wooden figures. They're amazing. So these are like a really wonderful and special little keepsake. So that's it for Happy Mail. And then I just kind of wanted to talk about, like, I wanted to gush about an item that I bought I think it arrived in September before we went on our trip, but this has become such a lifesaver. And it's totally relevant to this channel. So look what I got. So I'm a big I'm a big fan of this brand, which is Lug. I had a Lug bag way back, and it held up really, really, really well. Lug bags tend to be made out of this like wipeable, like synthetic material. And they tend to be really, really, really innovative with lots and lots of pockets and fun shapes to their bags. And this is their bag called a trolley. I will put a link down below. It's got like little plastic feet. It's actually sold as I think something you can use for like a really beefy cosmetics bag. But when I saw this, I was like, this is my perfect tarot tote. Let me show you what I mean. So when I like to do a morning reading when I'm sipping my coffee, and so I like to bring my stuff around with me, and I like to have everything together. This literally holds everything I need perfectly. So let me take you on a little tour because it's fun. So in this end, you have this pocket here, like that. So in here, I have a folded up reading cloth that Peggy made me. So that slides into that end pocket. Then in this end pocket, same size, same shape. It's the perfect size and shape to hold my Canon Ivy photo printer, which I use to document my readings. And look at the print inside. It's so cute. These come in lots of different colors. This is like a rose, like pink rose one. Okay, so those are the two end pockets. In the back, you have this zippered pocket, which opens up like this. And it has these like netted things. So I actually have extra paper for my Canon Ivy printer. I have some stickers in these pockets. And this actually opens up like all the way. I guess if it was makeup bag, you could have like fun items there. So that sits there. This thing here, this is kind of cool. I don't know if I'll ever use it for this, but this part opens up like this so that you can slide it over the handle of your like carry-on luggage, which I think is really cool, but I don't travel much, so ever really. So I don't know if I'll need that, but it's neat that it's there. Then in this front pocket, you have this big section that is this like plastic, you would probably put your makeup brushes and stuff in there. I keep like tarot spreads or tarot challenges with readings that I want to work on in there. And then of course you have your main pocket, which is up here. This thing holds so much. So here's what is in mine right now. So I have my tarot journal. I have the Trick or Treat Tarot because the day that I'm filming this, which is a couple days before it goes up on the channel, I still have to use this for a couple more days. And then I have my decks for the first week of November. So I have my Carta Postal Tarot, and I have the Divine Muses Oracle, and I have the Divine Muses Oracle Guidebook. That all fit in there. Amazing, right? So that's the inside, and it's all that plastic, like wipeable. There is another pocket. I have never used this, but it opens in the back here. So you have this pocket back here that's really big. It takes up like the whole back of it. I've never needed that yet. And then in the top is this like netted section with a zipper. And this is where I keep my fountain pen or pens that I'm using for that particular week or whatever. And I can actually finally keep more than one with me at a time, but I haven't done that yet because the pen I'm using is a lot of fun right now. So that is it's called a trolley bag. I cannot believe, truly cannot believe how much stuff it holds. But for me to be able to fit 3 full-size decks, like, hello, 3 full-size decks and another deck. And actually, I'll show you how I have it loaded. But my decks in boxes fit end to end. So these are the 2 decks in boxes. They fit end to end. That's how long this thing is. And then this is just a regular Llewellyn deck in a box, not in a box, rather loose, and it just kind of sticks up a little, but the whole thing is so squishy that I just cover it up and I just zip, like I just pull the lid down and I zip it up, and it's not a stretch. It zips up. There's like still plenty of like room. So I could, in theory, if I just had small decks in bags, I could probably hold like 10 decks, like just upright this way, not in boxes. I feel like that'd be too much. But if they were just like regular loose decks in bags, I could like fill it up. How cool is that? Anyways, I meant to mention it last month and totally forgot. So I had to mention it this month, but it's called the trolley. It's so fun. Anyway, I will try to have a link for that down below for you to check out. That brings us to books and decks. Books are easy. So in October, I only read one, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. So this is now my 3rd year, I believe, reading this and talking about it in my October show and tell. So if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts on this book, maybe check out my October 2021 or my October 2020 show and tell. This is now my favorite thing to read. Like, this is the only book, I think, in my entire collection of books that I specifically read in a specific month and is now a tradition for myself. And it is this one. It is so good. And I just found out from my members, because we actually treated this as a bonus book for October for our Unicorn Fam book club. But I found out from one of my members that this is being currently made into a movie for Netflix. So I'm excited about that. We'll see. But there's a lot. It's just a really fun thematic read. Just a warning, though, because this did come up in the book club. The first chapter seems really intense and really, really dark. And then after that, it's much cozier and more fun and light. But that first chapter is a lot. And also, I bawl, like full-on ugly cry, like a baby when I finish this book every single time. And that effect has not gotten less. If anything, on the 3rd read, it was like worse. But it's not because it's necessarily sad. And I'll leave it at that. It's just touching. So anyways, I love this book. Now we get to talk about all the spooky decks I worked with in October. So I worked with them very systematically this year, and I didn't work with everything. But in the first week, I worked with the Tarot and Vampires by Ian Daniels, which was so fun to pull back out and read in this season. I feel like this deck has a lot of depth. It's really beautiful. I did a whole live stream where we really went in depth, diving deep into this deck and the guidebook. So I will try to link that for you, but it is a really, really wonderful deck, and I would not have found out about this if not for Racine Almoon 513 is her YouTube channel, so I will link her channel down below too. She's talked about this deck a lot, given it a lot of love when it was certainly not trending or popular at all to talk about necessarily. So lots of love to Racine. I have it in this gorgeous like Skulls and Roses bag that Peggy made me, and I worked with that beside the Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle. This is a really fun one to pull out at this time of the year. And I feel like the mood of this really matches with the Tarot of Vampires, so I really enjoyed using this next to that. I didn't actually use this very much this Samhain season, actually. I used mostly just tarot, but I really enjoyed having this handy. I also spent a week with the Boo Tarot. This is such a sweet, cute deck. If you haven't seen this, I know I did my walkthrough in October, and I do talk about the cardstock. The cardstock is kind of smushy, and it does hold a bit of a wave, but it's very comfy to shuffle. I can't really fault it for that, and it has not shown any signs of damage. So even though there's a bit of a warp to it from shuffling, and it does have that kind of weird squishy feel that I talked about, it still shuffles beautifully, and it's holding up really well despite lots and lots of shuffling from me. So I don't know, like, I don't think that this cardstock is a deal breaker for me. And I am the type of person that if the cardstock was going to keep me from using a deck, I would tell you guys that, and I would probably rehome it. But this is just so charming. It would be nice to see it reprinted in the future on something that feels a little sturdier, but not necessarily thicker, just, you know, more substantial somehow. But even then, I don't even know if I say that, but then I don't know if I'd even bother to replace it, because I have to say there's also a little something to be said. This is going to sound so counterintuitive, but I feel like there's a little something to be said for the way a deck feels when it's not perfect anymore, when it's got a little bit of warp, or when it's kind of broken in, or when it feels like less than perfect. It starts to feel more like mine. And in a weird way, I almost get kind of extra attached to decks that show wear quickly, which is not something that I would specifically say is like a selling point for a deck or anything, but I don't know, it just starts to feel like it has my imprint on it sooner. I don't know, comment, am I nuts? Comment down below if you know what I mean. But some of my decks that are the most worn, they just give me a feeling when I touch them and work with them. And I feel like this gave me a little bit of that feeling because it started to do that right away for me. And so I have this like weird like shape and warp to the cards, but it almost makes it feel, yeah, more like mine. I don't know. I feel like I'm being silly, but that's just a thing that I feel. So I think I got discouraged when I did my walkthrough, because I did talk about the cardstock, and a lot of you guys are like, you know, I can't buy it because of the cardstock. I'll just say, like, that's totally valid. I completely get it. But also, if you really adore the artwork, or if you can get your hands on a physical copy to just try, I don't know, you might be surprised, because it's just, I don't know, it hasn't been a deterrent for me at all. I guess I just wanted to follow up with that. Every October, I look forward to working with the Zombie Tarot, and this year was no different. So I love this deck, and I do really like pairing it with Orshi's Zombie Oracle, which is a lot of fun. So I did use this, but I think I only used the Oracle like once this year, and I used the Tarot a bunch, but I did a full deep dive of the Zombie Tarot. It's a really, is this card upside, are they all upside down? Hold on. They're all upside down. Okay, there we go. I did a deep dive on this because this deck has a lot to it. It is definitely more than just it's more than just a kitschy novelty deck. It has a lot going for it. It has a lot going on in it. And I think if you are not turned off by the cards and the artwork, and you're looking for something fun for Halloween, this could be a really fun one to play with. I really, really like the Zombie Tarot a lot. And I definitely look forward to working with it every year. It has a lot of humor. It has a lot of just chic, and yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. So that's the Zombie Tarot. Look forward to working with it every October. It's funny, there's other decks that I will skip working with during October so that I can work with this deck. And lastly, I worked with the Claire Goodchild trifecta. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. So I have here the Antique Anatomy. The Antique Anatomy Tarot is a really fun one to work with. I worked with this for a week. I didn't get to read with it as much as I wanted, but I really like how clean and like, I don't know, easy it is to read with this deck. It's got that minimalist thing going, but it still feels kind of spooky if you want it to for this season. But I wanted something very sort of skeletal in feel, and this definitely fit the bill. And then also I worked with the Oracle of Oddities. I have to say I like this the best. Of all of Claire Goodchild's decks, the Oracle of Oddities is definitely my favorite. I like the keywords. I like the artwork. I like the themes. I like how chunky it is. I like the backs. I really enjoy this deck. I like that there's chakras in here, you know. So love that. And I did a couple of 3-part readings so that I could use all 3 decks in the same reading, because that's just satisfying. I also have the Memento Mori. So I got this one in a trade. So this is the one that's kind of loosely based on Lenormand, but has a bunch of extra cards. It's also quite substantial. It's quite a thick deck also. So that is the Memento Mori, and it has these skull backs. None of the expansions. I think that would be overwhelming to me to have the expansions for it. So I just have the original. But that was really fun to work with in October also. I keep looking to the side because I'm like putting my stuff back in their bag so I don't forget and like end up with a big mess. But I have a divided Peggy bag that's in this fabric. I use this divided bag to keep the Antique Anatomy and the Oracle of Oddities together. But I ended up using those, and then I have the Memento Mori in this skull bag. That's it. Those are the tarot and oracle decks I was working with in October. I'm pretty excited to move into November and like kind of have a wide open playing field on what I can reach for again. I'm definitely going to be working with the Carta Postal and the Divine Muses and see how those two play together. I think that could be a lot of fun. So I'm going to kick off November with those. I'll definitely report back how they are to actually work with in real time. But that is it for my October show and tell. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me show you all the fun things. I had a very busy and fun October, and I hope you did too. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Extra big, massive, extra big thank you to the Unicorn fam. Thank you guys for supporting what I do here. It really helps more than you possibly know. Thank you to all of you for watching my videos, for subscribing, liking, commenting, clicking the bell, all the things you do that help support what I do. It really definitely matters. It makes a huge difference. Thank you all so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.